This is the Griffin Podcast, episode number 88. We continue in our agent plan, and the subject is Don't Quit. Are you a home seller or a home buyer who has questions about selling or buying residential property? Or maybe you're an agent who just needs a better plan, but you can't find an easy way to get your answers, any of you? Well, then, hey, you're definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of The Griffin and the host of the Ask-A-Griffin podcast. And to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction, if you're a seller, buyer, or agent, you can take advantage of our free step-by-step guides/plans that are waiting for you. They're waiting for you over at griffincourses.com. That's GRIFFIN courses.com. All right, let's get started. We are really now in the final moment where I really have a final note here about the agent plan when we get to the end of it, and that's don't quit. And I'm passionate about trying to leave people better than I found them, be a person for others. Those are really core values of where I'm at in life. And sometimes you have to jump up on a soapbox and be the motivator and really tell people, don't quit. Stop quitting on everything every time it gets difficult. You have to be a curious learner and you have to drive yourself forward. This is just me imploring all of you. Don't quit. Don't give up on something you want to do. And that would be to sellers, buyers, and agents. All of our plans are there to help you understand what to do. I know you don't all do this every day. I know you don't. Or maybe you are an agent. You've been floundering for years and you're wondering why. It's simply because you need to figure out the truth about how things work. And that's been my pursuit for years. I've been in this business a long time now, but I never stop pursuing a little bit further on what the truth is. See, the truth is an elusive thing because it's complicated. There are variables there. It's ever changing. But if you're always curious about how things work, if you always stay that curious learner, then you can always improve your situation. So let me get to the first point here. The first thing to recognize about this real estate agent business is that real estate agents are independent contractors who are trying to build a successful business. I mean, you have to start off by recognizing what you're signing up for. And that's a very simple definition of what it is, because there are a lot of people. I was just talking to a gal today who's getting to the point where her husband just retired and she's retired from AT&T, and she got her license to stay busy and she enjoyed the business. But she was telling me just how tough it really was and how she felt like it was difficult. And it was time for her to leave it to the younger generation, is what she said to me. And, I thought to myself, yeah, I get it. It is not an easy business, but neither is any business. So anytime that, and this is somebody who came from corporate America where everything is structured, you're told what to do and when to do it, and then you go out into this business and you have to create one yourself. So there's no resume that if you come from another corporation or somewhere where you've been told what to do and when to do it, that you're going to necessarily understand how to run a business. This is an entrepreneurial venture. This is truly that independent contractor moment where you sign up. Look, be careful what you wish for. You want that freedom. You don't want to be told what to do. You want to create something and you want to serve people and you like real estate. You're intrigued by the sense of home and design and people going through this. Okay, but it's a very complicated thing. Because you have to recognize you're going to try to build a business. And I'm being encouraging here. This isn't to scare you away. This is to give you a reality check so that you can make it, so that you don't want to quit. Because all you have to do is simply recognize that, okay, because going to work every day, 9 to 5 or what maybe worse, is not easy either. I mean, you might have a bad boss. The circumstance of the job might be brutal. Who knows? So nothing's easy. Nothing. So to help you be successful, if you just say, okay, I get it. I'm signing up for a business opportunity. That's really what I'm signing up for. So when I go and make the choice, and I see a lot of agents just joining, and they're joining the first agency that has a good ad and interviews them, or their friend goes there and they're going to sit around the water cooler and do what now? Right? You have to understand that the second point here is that building a successful business, any business, requires the combination of a good plan and hard work. Let me go through this a little bit. I remember back when I left corporate America, I was in the finance business, and I had this real entrepreneurial urge. I guess I would tell you at this point in time, I'm one of those unemployables. We're a rare breed. Don't copy me if that's the way you feel. So to that extent, I knew I was going to have to start my own brokerage, my own coaching program, whatever. My own. I know it sounds narcissistic, but it's just truly who I am. I'm an entrepreneur and I desire to be creatively fulfilled. So I went into this business and I went like any of you to a brokerage, and that brokerage, I just thought the three gents that owned the place were awesome. They were going to let me do my thing. They recognized who I was from the beginning. And they asked me, they said, what's your business plan? And that was a stunning question to be asked at that moment in time. And when I look back, I thought it was good. But knowing that brokerage, they should have had some sort of wireframe to give me. Say, look, we don't know if you have a business plan or not already in place, but here are some of the points that we think you'll need to consider when you're growing this business. And it didn't exist. So coming out of the venture capital business, I knew, and before that investment banking business and investment analysis, I knew full well that good businesses had a plan because I'd seen them. I'd seen small ones. I'd seen big ones. I'd already seen this. And I knew the ones that were investables really had that plan in place. So I went on this search and I started looking for a plan. And back then, okay, so I'll date myself here a little bit. There was no real internet that was accessible to average Joe like me. I couldn't just jump on my laptop, which didn't exist. I mean, we had these stationary portals, IBM, but it was more of a glorified typewriter back then, right? So you could go online, but there wasn't the indexing of all this great information that there is now. And instead, I went to Barnes & Noble, and I would just go through the entire real estate section. Problem was there, it was mostly about how to flip a house, right? Everybody was a get-rich-quick guy or gal on the internet, well, not on the internet yet, but they were infomercial folks on TV, and they were selling their books. So it was hard to find a plan. And there really wasn't one. So then I had to go back to generic plans, etc. So that's why I arrived now and I say at griffincourses.com, if you're an agent, go get a copy of our plan or reach out to us and we'll get a copy of our plan to you because it's what to do. You see, in a business, when you're looking for a plan, you're really looking just for the answer first as to how does the business really work. So if I know how the business really works, then I can figure out how I'm going to do it, right? So here's what to do. Now here's how I'm going to do it. And you have to be resourceful to get some help. And hopefully you've gone to a brokerage that has at least some semblance of order, but most of them don't. I'll warn you. They're great people. I'm not knocking my fellow broker owners, but I am saying I've been in the coaching business a long time, and I am telling you there are all sorts of ideas, but very rarely is there a wireframe for an entire business. It can be simple because I've made mine simple. I've organized it very simply. We have about 7 points plus a bonus section. That's what we're going through, here. This is the end of our agent plan where all the latest podcast episodes, they're in order of the agent plan. I talk about them in depth. And so having some good what to do plan is a wonderful place to start. But then you have to recognize, folks, that this is hard work. And we're talking about not quitting. And one of my favorite quotes is by Edison, right? Thomas Edison. Opportunity is often overlooked because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. And that's what it is. I mean, I'm stunned that agents won't take the time to read a simple what to do plan, but then yet have the gall to think that they're going to be successful. So that's how we know who we're not going to hire. I mean, if you can't meet us at the 50-yard line, at least with a work ethic, that you're going to do the work that we tell you to do so that we can protect you. See, we love that mantra in both my coaching company and here at the Griffin, the brokerage. I just say to somebody, look, I will be there for you at the 50-yard line with this company. We will train you in these plans. We will coach you against them. We will take the accordion of time and squeeze your success down if you do what we ask you to do. If you don't, now I have to go find you in the woods. Now I have to rescue you. And now it's on you. Put the burden back on us by trying to follow our plan. But you have to put in the work. We're not going to beg you to show up. So it is this combination of a plan and hard work. Now, the third point, last point here, is that let's say that we get somebody or you're game for that kind of an effort. And you say, yep, I'm just a hard worker and, I don't quit anyway. And that's okay, great. But you have to commit also to a never-ending learning and improvement process. And then don't quit, okay? Because even for me, every single day after 22 and a half years of doing it, over 16 of coaching it from top producers to beginners, I am a curious learner. I love doing these podcasts because it continues to push my level of distinction in learning. I am never stopping, and that's what makes it interesting. And that's what makes the business more successful in the light of the fact that change is always coming, in the light of the fact that struggle is always part of it. We will always struggle. We will always feel the pain of change, always. But we are committed to never stopping that learning. So even when we take our what to do plans, I'm in the middle of going through all three of them now and editing them again. And it's not a big major change on any of them. It's just these small micro changes to it that make it easier to understand when you read it. But in the meantime, you've got to commit to some sort of a process. You just asked to sign up for a business opportunity and you can't even download or read or think about a plan, or you dismiss it. How do you expect to be successful? This is why I am a huge proponent, and again, with 5 kids, I'm a huge proponent of being educated. Stop letting people online tell you, oh, you don't need to go to school or you don't need higher education and all that stuff. All right, if you're going to drop out of school at any level, you better drop in on being an avid learner online and ordering real books and writing, reading, speaking. Those are still the big 3. That's the triumvirate to be successful in life. You cannot ever stop learning, because when you commit to that improvement in all those areas, you won't want to quit. It becomes a game worth playing. It's fun. The goals are always out there. They're always changing. The vision is getting bigger. All of that is fun. Let me go back and summarize this, okay? We're at the end of the agent plan, and I just implore you, don't quit. Especially don't quit so easily. That's really painful. But start off with a couple of points in mind. Number 1, recognize real estate agents are independent contractors building a business. So especially if you're coming out of a corporate job, you just stepped into building a business. This is not like that. So you have new responsibilities as the entrepreneur of your independent contractor business. I know you go into a brokerage and it has the sense of, or the feeling of a corporation. It's not. It's up to you. 2, building a successful business requires the combination of a good, and I'll add this, what to do plan and hard work on that plan. 3, commit to never-ending learning, never-ending, and improvement, okay? You're always learning and improving, and that will help you to not quit. Let me summarize it this way. As a real estate agent, you must realize that you are building a business. And to be successful, you need a good plan. However, even with a great plan, you'll need to know that there will be many setbacks as you learn how to be successful, and you should not use those challenges as a reason to think you're not capable of building a business. Instead, simply commit to this whole process and don't ever quit. All right, remember, you can take immediate action. I mean immediate, to get started in the right direction. If you're a seller, a buyer, or an agent, like we're talking about here today, because we give you these free step-by-step guides. I couldn't find one for the life of me when I first started. I didn't have one for my sellers and my buyers, but I made them all for you, and they're waiting at griffincourses.com. Also, don't forget you can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Or find us on any of our social media channels, and you won't miss any of these insights each time we upload an episode. We'd also appreciate it if you would share our content with anybody thinking about selling or buying or becoming a real estate agent, so that they all get the help they need to be more successful. But remember this, we sign off the same way every time. Nobody's coming for you Nobody. So take action and go get to work on your plan for selling, buying, or becoming a successful agent. And we'll see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again.